Hey guys, what's up? Samurai here again, and today another react or Crimson Desert exclusive preview from IGN first. Yeah, they released a new gameplay of Crimson Desert. Let's see how it's looking.
An open world adventure with sky islands, mechanical dragons.
Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It's free for you and help me a lot.
Spider-Man web swing. But the more that's been revealed, the more there's been the sense that Crimson Desert may be a lot of pieces in need of a whole. Finding that complete picture was my main objective when I...
Yeah, the guy is right. This is how I felt with Crimson Desert. They were just like releasing so many things, so many games, so many gameplays that I got lost on. Okay, what is this game? What is the focus? Will be good? What will be not good?
Visited Pearl Abyss's studio in Seoul for this month's IGN.
Let's see what he has to say.
I can't say I found it yet. Multiple hours of hands-on playtime has revealed a game that's maybe not as strange as you'd expect. In fact, Crimson Desert feels pretty straightforward. Pearl Abyss has crafted a reasonably traditional open-world adventure, made up of multiple regions peppered with towns, outposts, and castles. There's the usual collection of main and optional quests, plus classic distractions like fishing. You'd be forgiven for not realizing this though. Pearl Abyss has put almost all of its promotional efforts into showcasing boss fights. Not only that, but Crimson Desert's blend of traditional medieval fantasy with sci-fi and steampunk elements does make it seem like it's been pulled in several directions at once.
Yes, it is.
You'll need to acquire Golden Star's power core. Golden Star.
This looks like the Foundation or something,
all these elements
doesn't it?
interact, though, it doesn't feel quite so alien. The continent of Pywell is perhaps less like a typical Tolkien-esque fantasy world and more akin to Dungeons & Dragons, a setting that, in recent years, was host to a Mad Max-like vehicular chase through hell. Pearl Abyss's design team explained that they wanted Pywell to reflect the variety of our reality, in which some countries feel much more futuristic than others, and note that some of Pywell's leaders may be more resistant to the advancement of technology than others, a conflict that'll be explored through various faction quests. All this means that the variety doesn't feel artificial or there simply for the sake of being wild, even when you're at the controls of a flying battle robot, which was, of course, designed by Dwarven engineers. The inclusion of these mechanized and steampunk
Sometimes I feel like IGN texts are written by
we'd see in something like
LLMs,
a major part of my
GPT and Claude.
A quest for Marnie, a scientific genius who cloned his own consciousness to create an AI-like entity called Hall. Naturally, the results of such an experiment have gone very wrong, and Marnie's evil digital magic twin has taken command of a flying fortress that's terrorizing Pywell's skies. Defeating Hall requires the use of a power core, which Marnie reveals is hidden inside a weapon called Golden Star. And by weapon, he means a giant mechanical dragon. While they presumably have ballistic missiles in Pywell, what with the advanced engineering and all, of course the fantasy version of a nuke is flying Mechagodzilla. All that stands between me and this winged menace is a fortress filled with angry battle robots. It appears that fortress assaults will be a significant recurring objective in Crimson Desert.
Yeah, this is cool.
My hands-on time involved no fewer than 3 of them. I can see why Pearl Abyss was keen to show them off, as they are a showcase for some of the project's strongest achievements. There's a great sense of atmosphere, with a legion of men from either side battling the living hell out of each other, and you're caught in the middle of it all.
As a Berserk fan,
texture.
I'm really looking into those attacks.
That were quickly followed by a bombardment of artillery.
I think it will be really cool.
Soldiers and reducing buildings to splinters. In another, I was able to circumnavigate the brutal melee entirely, sneaking into the castle through a crumbling wall and using the prison as a shortcut to the boss. And in my fight through the robot fortress, a backpack-mounted EMP device allowed me to fry the circuits of both the lumbering ground threats and airborne bug bots in one giant blast. There's always something new to try, something to experiment with. But as much as these fortress assaults are a demonstration of Crimson Desert's highs, they also simultaneously
Seems that they have
turn out to be
crafted a lot of things that you need to be smart to play and take advantage from the environment, the enemy's nature. I was saying this in my last video when we saw how different interactions are possible with enemies from different sizes.
Issues hamper the boss battles, which was my only experience of Crimson Desert prior to this demonstration. And I was quite surprised at how different combat can feel in alternative scenarios, even when using the same moveset. It's in these smaller, less refined details where Crimson Desert threatens to lose itself. There are occasions where you need to pick up and manipulate objects, such as planting a banner to inspire your allies. Doing so requires standing still, turning to face the object, activating a focus mode, rapidly tapping a button to lift your target, and then finally using your telekinetic powers to manually move it. All of this is a slightly baffling annoyance when erecting flags, but it turns into a genuine frustration in the middle of a boss battle, when you're desperately trying to swing a fallen masonry column during the precious few seconds when the boss is stunned. Thankfully, no such awkward Ultra Hand juggling is required to extract the power core from Golden Star. As we explored earlier this month in our making of feature, this is a boss fight with a unique mechanic that must be discovered in the quite literal heat of battle. The dragon's flaming breath activates an array of pylons dotted around the arena, which then dispense EMP bombs.
Nothing new here.
Arm-mounted cannon. The system creates a repeating phase loop.
Not from
circles above,
understanding Crimson Desert, or
eventually bring him crashing to the ground.
nothing new that Crimson Desert has done
until he reboots
in the game world.
At
least
point out that you don't
this part here with the Golden Dragon.
For instance, use lightning-reefed arrows to apply a stun, or simply chip away at his health bar with ranged attacks. But I feel that the real enjoyment in all of Crimson Desert's boss fights have been finding the unique mechanic built into the arena or even the enemy itself. Bosses are not the only thing in need of conquering. Suspended high above Pywall are a scattering of Abyss Islands, accessed through portals that are unlocked with mysterious Abyss artifacts. These islands appear to come in multiple guises. Last year we saw that one of them is home to an alchemist called Alastin and his Library of Providence. And my
this is cool.
Included one that was more
I feel like this world would fit a lot in an anime game style isekai.
Need of a total rewiring.
I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments.
Rotating flagstones unlocks the island.
How would you feel about a Crimson Desert anime-styled game in an isekai story?
Your lantern illuminates the correct pathway, and your grapple hook
Blue Protocol just lost the chance to
so while
do
this challenge is not particularly
something like
taxing,
this.
I hope its solid foundations are the basis for more interesting puzzles that await among the clouds. When you've uncovered an Abyss Island's secrets, you can leap off the side and float down.
When I was younger, I thought puzzles were boring, but now I feel like they are extremely necessary in games in order to make them, fun and look like a video game, because they try to achieve so much realism that sometimes you just want to play a game like old times, like Rainbow or something, and minigames delivers that.
Duke who's lost his castle to rebel forces, a situation that's the catalyst for one of those aforementioned fortress assaults. Pearl Abyss was quick to clarify that these groups are not like Fallout's factions, and allegiances with them won't change the course of the story or impact Crimson Desert's ending, which is set in stone. And so I'm left wondering, what are the faction quests in aid of? When asked, Pearl Abyss...
Yeah, now this is a bummer because it's cool when you have to pick a side and you need to decide which faction you want to align yourself to. I mean, this is common in RPG open world games, and having zero impact in the story, I feel like, okay, it should be nice for a second game, a new game plus, sorry, but to the base game, I don't know. I feel like
factions felt like significant actors in the plot, and that they offered more content.
They just decided to not focus on this.
That at least some of Crimson Desert's offerings will be stuff to do rather than meaningful interlinked opportunities. That brings us back to my very first question. What is Crimson Desert as a whole? I know it's a vast open world with deep, fighting game-inspired combat that works better against bosses than it does against fodder. It's got spectacle-laden quests that take you from in-the-mud castle assaults all the way up to aerial dogfights. And it's littered with good-time distractions, from fishing and bounties to taming bears and buckling up in a battle mech. But I'm still waiting to discover the glue between all this that elevates an open world to new heights. Shadow of Mordor has the Nemesis system, which chains its enemies together into a foe-conquering big picture. Red Dead Redemption 2's systems are united by a pursuit of realism and authenticity that makes its campaign feel like a life lived rather than a game played. And this year's Ghost of Yotai links every activity on its map to a new unlock on your skill tree, ensuring even little diversions are a growth opportunity. That's the stuff that's so far been missing from Crimson Desert's demonstrations.
Yeah, what is the big deal with Crimson Desert?
I get to play multiple consecutive hours rather than a collection of isolated quests and bosses. Without it, I still think Crimson Desert stands a solid chance at being an overall good time. But with it, it could become something much more special. For more from Crimson Desert, check out our combat explainer and our showcase of every boss battle revealed so far.
Yeah, now this is something I wasn't expecting from IGN. They kind of boomed here. Crimson Desert, they were not doing this for sure in the previous videos. So I started to get a little skeptical about this game. And the reason for this is exactly what this guy was showing us here. So if we take a look, for example, on Shadow of Mordor, we have the Nemesis system. This is awesome. This changes the game. We have on Ghost of Yotei the skill tree where you can upgrade your character and like decide where are you going to improve, what are you going to improve first before you became like this legendary samurai. But yeah, you know what is the thing for Crimson Desert? Are you just doing missions, killing enemies, then you level up and you don't have anything to do with the levels that you got? Uh, I mean, what is the progress? I miss that, and I feel like it's gonna be a good game. Open world, you'll be able to spend hours and hours in this game, maybe hundreds of hours until you finish it all. For people who are looking for trophies and to finish 100% of the game, I think they will be fucked in this. But yeah, I start to get a little skeptical. I don't think it will be Game of the Year material anymore. I thought in the past, and yeah, you know, I'm starting to get a little saturated about Crimson Desert. What you guys think? Let me know in the comments. You know, how higher the standards are, higher is the fall, and either it will be like Game of the Year material or a big flop. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, if you make it to here, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. It costs you nothing. I wish you all well and see you in the next video. Bye.